sounds in the alphabet. She also knows all the vowels and vowel sounds. She can rhyme. She's a very good helper and a good worker. She knows all the months of the year and all the days of the week. She's a good recycler. Her teacher loves her. She knows all of her sight words. And she's got a keep reading sticker. Danielle is very excited about learning how to read and has been doing an awesome job. And she knows all of her colors and color words. She will be receiving her Mrs. Barker certificate for knowing those 24 Mother Goose rhymes. And a special poster from her friends. Tyler B says, I like it when you give pushes. Tyler E says, it is fun when you sing color songs. Chris says, you read books with me. Melanie says, you are my best friend. Gabby says, I like it when you sit by me on the bus. Jerry says, I like it when you swing on the swings. Dylan says, you are the best. Danielle says, I like it when I count. Danielle's so excited about learning all kinds of things. And I said, Danielle can always do things all by herself. She's another one of our independent kindergartners who likes to do it all by herself. And she works so hard at it. And we're proud and appreciate that about her. She'll be receiving her kindergarten diploma for completing kindergarten and being a special part of our class this year. Our graduate, Danielle Costa. And a couple more graduates to go. Melanie Youngquist is our next graduate. This is Melanie. And Melanie can count all the way past 100. She can count by 10s and 5s. She knows, she's a very good worker and she has very good manners. She knows how to make a pattern and has completed her first research report. She knows her sight words. She can count by 2. She can spell all of her color words. She's a very good beginning speller and reader. She will be receiving a Mother Goose Excellence Award for those nursery rhymes she's been working on with Mrs. Barker. And a special poster from her friends. Taylor says, you are my best friend. Danielle says, I like when you play with me. Peter says, I like it when you raise your hand. And Isaac says, you work good. Dana says, I like when you check the choice wheel with me. Tyler B says, you help me work. That's one nice thing about Melanie. She does help us out when we need it. And Melanie says, I like working a lot. That's what she says about herself. And I said, Melanie is a hard worker. So that's definitely something we like about Melanie. So Melanie has been a wonderful part of our class this year and will receive her kindergarten diploma for completing kindergarten at East Oakfield. It's our graduate, Melanie Youngquist. Okay, and last but not least, Nathan Donis is our next graduate. It's a long time to wait, isn't it, Nathan? I know, that's hard. Okay, Nathan has a banner here with some of the things he's learned in kindergarten. He's a good helper, a very good helper. And he knows how to share. He can count by 10s and he can rhyme. He lost a tooth this year. He's a good recycler. He knows the months of the year and the days of the week. He knows his shapes. He'll be receiving the Books Are Great sticker for working on reading his first book in kindergarten. He's a good beginning speller and knows all of his color words. He'll be receiving his Mother Goose Excellence Certificate from Mrs. Barker for practicing those 24 Mother Goose rhymes in the library. And here's a few things that your friends say about you. Gabby says, I like it that your teeth are white. Melanie says, you are very silly. And Dana says, you are special to me. Tyler C says, I like you. Jerry says, I like Nathan's last name. Danielle says, I like Nathan's car. Tyler B says, I like your boots. And Nathan says, I like it how I ride my bike in the snow. And I said, Nathan is responsible. He's a very responsible student, and he's learned how to be extra responsible this year. We're proud of him for that. Nathan will be receiving his kindergarten diploma for being a special part of our class and completing kindergarten at East Oakfield. It's our graduate, Nathan Noble. We have one more thing that we need to share together, but before we do that, let's make sure that our papers are on the floor in front of us, and let's give one big hand to these new first graders. For me, from you guys. Let's write it. Let's see. Oops, something way down in here. Very nice. Thanks. To show you all the box. That might go get gosh. Oh. Here. Oh. Thank you very, very much. It says, you touched our hearts, your PM Friends, 2003. Thank you very much. I'm going to put it right here so I can put it on. I'm going to put it right next to me. Thank you very much. You guys touch my hearts. I think I will. I'm going to leave it right in here for right now, and then I'm going to try it on after we're done with the next thing we're going to do together. Nope, we're going to have our last story together. And you know, sometimes, guys, remember how I said I'm so excited for you guys to go to first grade because I know you're going to have so much fun. But what else did we decide about moving to first grade? We get a little sad because I get sad because I'll miss you guys. That's right, and I get new friends, and I'm excited about that. And then my big first grade friends are right down the hallway, right? And still can stop and see me sometimes. That's right. So I thought, since it's our last time all in kindergarten together, I have a story for you guys and for moms and dads out there. Because moms and dads will kind of understand this story too, because it really reminds me about our class, and it reminds me of kindergarten, and it reminds me of you guys. It's called Mrs. Spitzer's Garden. And then after we have our story, I have a little something special that goes with this story for each of you to take out to your parents. There's a little something from me to each of all of you out there. So we'll have your child bring that out in just Mrs. Spitzer's Garden. Mrs. Spitzer is a teacher. She is in room 108 of Tremont Elementary School. Inside room 108 are 6 tables, 4 circles, and 2 rectangles. There is a rug in one corner with real hopscotch squares and checkerboards woven in bright colors. There is also a size chart, a birthday chart, a gerbil in a cage, a housekeeping and dress-up corner, a row of 22 pegs for coats and backpacks, and in another corner, Mrs. Spitzer's desk. At the end of summer, Mr. Merrick, the principal, walks down to the hall to Mrs. Spitzer's room and gives her a packet of seeds. Mrs. Spitzer consults her calendar and plans her daily schedule. She checks her tools. She makes sure the soil is right, light, and well drained, with plenty of room for sprouting. Then Mrs. Spitzer plants the seeds. She waters them, feeds them, and makes sure they get plenty of sun. The seeds begin to sprout. As she plants them, Mrs. Spitzer watches them closely. She checks them daily for weeds and pests. She knows that different plants need different things. It's a little hard for me sometimes. Oh, my favorite book, but I don't know why I read it sometimes. And that each plant has its own shape. Some of the plants grow quickly, pushing upward, eager and impatient. Some grow more slowly, unfolding themselves bit by bit. Some plants sprout thin and tall. Some are bushy and wide-spreading. Some are bold and showy. They are brightly colored, saying, "Look at me." Some are silvery and quiet, the color of the earth. A few are like wildflowers and will grow anywhere you put them. And some need gentle care, a special watching over. As the season changes, Mrs. Spitzer tends to her garden. And then the year is over, and her job is done. Kind of sad. But the plants will keep growing, uncurling their stems, stretching their leaves outward, and showing their faces to the sun. Mrs. Spitzer puts away her tools, her daily calendar, and her plan book. Soon another year will start, and Mr. Merrick will once again walk down the hall with a packet of seeds for Mrs. Spitzer. She will dust off her tools, till the soil, and a new garden will begin. A little special flower from your very little special flowers up here for each of you. When I call your name, boys and girls, I have a little flower for you to take to your family, and a little special poem from Mrs. Murphy from me to your families. So, when I call your name, take it to your family, and also they'll be bringing you either in an envelope if I didn't have your red folder, or it may be in your red folder, your child's end of the year report card and a summer reading incentive and thing you'll want to take with you today. But I also want to say thank you to all of you so much for being such wonderful, supportive families and getting your child's school career started off right as well. So thank you all so much. Hey, Chris, if you want to come back and pick up that stuff, you can, or take it with you. But this is for Mom and Dad. Can you take that to them? They got their hands full, that's for sure. Either. These two things in
Chrissy lost it.
Gabby. And Tyler E. I know it is hard, isn't it? Get it? That was the mom. And Nathan. And John. And Jerry.
Excuse me, Peter.
And Andrew.
All this stuff is hurting my hands.
Come back to Dad.
And Isaac. And Dana. We'll probably maybe get some pictures taken and stuff. I think Tyler, you're next too, my dear. Hang on a second. Good, you figured it out. You want to take this to Mom? Good job. And Tyler, seat right here, Barbie. And Danielle. Thank you all very much for this great bracelet. I love it.
One more time.
So sweet. Great. How about this?
You're right. Take your hand off. You're gonna hold it up nice.
I was going to hold those up for a while. I think they're able to share their time backwards. Get your friends together.
I'll give you a picture. I'll take a picture.
Yeah, I think you gotta like, yeah, get it?